just the very, very fact that Elon Musk is high at Mar-a-Lago after he's been demoted on the Thursday, tweeting through the night, it looked like, looking at the timestamps, when his company is, the cars are literally burning, the showrooms are literally burning. No, maybe not burning. Certainly attacked. There's swastika. Darren sent me a picture of a swastika on a Cybertruck in downtown New York the other day. And more importantly than that, he's getting his ass kicked, not just by one Chinese company, by a whole bunch of Chinese companies who are probably more concerned competing against each other than they are about competing against him. Like the Chinese joke that, actually, like, the real contest is not between China and the United States, it's between Pearl River Delta and, the greater Shanghai, Yangtze Delta.
So Musk is a kind of symbol for you of America going, disappearing up its own asshole, as it were.
Well, in a way he's not, because he was the greatest hope.
Right.
But one of our boys' names, middle name, and this is not after him, but it didn't matter to us that it was his name. His middle name is Elon. I was absolutely an admirer of Elon Musk. I still am an admirer of his career. To have one achievement as great as pioneering electric cars, I don't care whether people say that he came in as the businessman, somebody else invented it, whatever. He made it happen. He made that happen. He made SpaceX happen, which, apart from technical achievement, is a massive economic achievement that has dramatically reduced the cost of space travel. It has absolutely brought closer the moment of interplanetary exploration and maybe settlement of another planet, or at least the South Pole of the Moon, or maybe some space stations. That would be cool. Some rotating space stations like we saw in 2001 AD. It's 2025 now. Like, we're 24 years later. We're behind schedule on some of this stuff, and then the Starlink. Again, global internet. Any one of those things would be enough to make somebody's name, and he had 3. There is nobody I know even who had 2. So if you look at the great scorecard of technological achievement, he's right up there, up at the top, above anybody from China up until this point. But the problem for him is that he's one man, and he's up against, 1.4 billion people, of whom a significant percentage are extremely intelligent and dynamic. And he's up against 20 electric car companies in China. And, BYD, like I say, is kind of a little clunky, but Xiaomi is everything, Like, it's better than Apple in smartphones.
But that's true independently of whether he's doing K all night tweeting at Mar-a-Lago. What has happened to him? What has happened to Musk, and is that in any way emblematic of what's happening to all of us in America?
I have a theory, but I don't know. I haven't talked to him.
Well, let's air the theory.
My theory is that it's displacement activity. That he's a problem solver. He has an engineering mindset. He's a problem solver. I recognize that. And faced with an insoluble problem, like, how do you compete with China when your base is in the United States? How do you compete with Chinese companies when your base is in a country that has basically been financialized and Baumol cost inflated to death, to the point where it doesn't really have any, it doesn't have the engineers to set up factories. Setting up factories isn't so hard, Palmer Luckey says. The hard part is actually finding the people to run them. And when the smartest kids are going into finance, or they're making YouTubes, or the smartest kids going into podcasts, but when none of them go into, in the manufacturing classes and the physics classes, people have said, like, for years it's been all Chinese, in the States. And now the price for that is being paid, about to be paid.
Rather than face these,
Yeah,
rather than face these insoluble problems, he's
trying the easier task, or what he thinks is the easier task, or maybe the necessary task of reforming America. Maybe it's like he can't compete from the America as is. He needs to change America in order to be able to compete.
But clearly, nothing that we can see him doing is going to have any impact on any of that. I mean, it's trivial at this point.
It's too much, too late, too fast. The time for this would have been 2008.
I think it's too little, too late, too fast. I mean, if 86% of the budget is not under your control, the idea you're going to end debt is absurd.
Well, no,
right?
and Thursday, when he's reduced from a chainsaw to a scalpel,
right,
is indicative of that.